There is a legend about the Immortal, the water dragon. It lives for 1,000 years preparing to ascend to the sky, but, if he is seen by any human during its ascension, it shall turn to a spirit and live on earth until a clean soul frees it from its earthly bondage by serving it. This makes Gangchoari, the Immortal, to dislike humans. Immortal possess enormous power even as a spirit on earth and caused all the plants to die in the path he walks. Yo-ri is the daughter of a great shaman and healer. While her mother was instructing her to flee if she ever see the Immortal, they heard a strong wind outside the cabin and she saw the Immortal looking straight at her from the bushes. In the present-day capital, 13 years after the incident, the king's son is possessed by a demon, but he thinks it's just a sickness that can be cured. His trusted advisor begged him to consult a shaman for his son to be healed, but he refused. Yo-ri is now a glass artisan and helps people with their vision. She helps an old chief make a reading glass and he was very pleased with it. He told her she's the best at what she does. While they were talking, Yo-ri sensed a foul spirit in the compound. The spirit was tormenting the daughter of the chief. The chief asked if she could cure his daughter, but she denied that she had no power. When she was about to go home, she saw the spirit tormenting the young girl. It was a one-legged poor spirit that sought revenge for his death. Yo-ri told him that if he killed anyone, it gets harder for him to get into the afterlife because his spirit shall turn into an evil spirit. As he was trying to change his mind, he suddenly possesses the young girl and runs into the market. Yo-ri chases him into the market and finds him hiding in a shop. The spirit immediately attacks her but gets burnt by the ghost bane. The spirit is so scared of the stone and aggressively attack Yo-ri again, but she's stronger than the spirit. Yo-ri used the ghost bane to forcefully expel the spirit from the girl and she vomits it from her mouth. When the spirit came out, it was so furious and jumps at the girl. It strangles Yo-ri and tried to kill her. While it was trying to kill her, the Immortal came to her and asked her to ask for his help before he'll help her. She didn't reply him and told him to get lost. She overpowered the spirit and it ran away. When the owner of the shop returned, she quickly recognized the chief's daughter and the advisor of the king took her back to the chief house as he was on his way there. On her way home, Yo-ri is accompanied by the Immortal. He taunts her about her attack and asks her to make him her patron deity so he'll make her a great shaman with strong powers. This annoys Yo-ri and she lashes out at him, telling him that she knows his plan to take away her ghost bane and possess her body. He replied, "If you know that is my plan, let me do it." He is desperate because that's the only way he can turn back to a dragon and ascend to the sky. She rejected him and told him she almost delivered the spirit from his 9 years of wandering, but he interrupted and caused his pain to continue. She recalls when the Immortal started trailing her at a young age of 13 years. On that day, her mother was carrying out a ceremony and many people were gathered around for the ceremony. As her mother was making incantations, she saw Yo-ri and stopped moving. Yo-ri slowly walked to her mother and told her that the Immortal has been following her the whole day. It was that night that her mother gave her the ghost bane to protect herself every day from the Immortal and any spirit that attacks her. The next day, the Immortal caused an accident that took the life of Yo-ri's mother. This made the whole village hate her. They saw her as a child that brought death and famine to the land. She buried her mother alone and after covering the grave, the Immortal came again to convince her to follow him, but she pretended and burnt him with the ghost bane, and swore that she would rather die than to serve the Immortal or help him complete his ascension. At the palace, the queen mother tried to visit her grandson, but she was stopped by his mother and her maids. She lied that the prince had a cold and didn't want her to contract the cold. The queen mother, however, did not believe her and forcefully went to the prince's quarters. As she was about to enter, the king came in and told them that his symptoms are worse and it would be unfair for her to see him in that situation. As he was speaking, a very foul smell came out of the room and the queen mother quickly agreed to leave for the moment. When the king got into the room, he found his son asleep and his servant has been injured. At the market, Gap and Yo-ri meet and they remember they were childhood friends. Gap broke his leg trying to help her when they were young. Gap invited Yo-ri to the palace to make an eyeglass for the king and she immediately got ready and followed him because it was such an opportunity. While they were on the road, Gap slipped and fell, injuring his leg and back. The injury was serious and blood began to seep out. Yo-ri quickly told Gap to wait so she would bring healing herbs for his wound. As she went away, she began to blame the Immortal for trying to hinder their journey. While she was away, the warlord and his servants attacked Gap and killed him. On their way to bury him, the Immortal possessed the body of Lord Gap and a skull from the guards. When he ran to Yo-ri, she accused him of killing Lord Gap and taking his body, but he denied it. He immediately threw away the ghost bane and tried to force her to serve him, but at this point he had no powers to make her his servant. The next day at the palace, Gap was unconscious and trying to recover from the injury. The king suspects that the attack was from a very skilled swordsman and he should be given the best treatment in the city. The Queen Mother is visited by a blind prophet who promises her that she can eradicate the demon, but the child will die along and her own son will be the heir to the throne, and she agreed. That night, an assassin was sent to kill Yun-Gap but failed. Yun-Gap displayed superior powers even without being awake. He dodged attacks and the assassin had to escape. When he woke up, he was so tired and hungry. It was the emoji in the body and he has never been in a human body. As soon as he tasted food, his senses made him so happy that he finished the food and needed more. He could not stop himself from eating because it gave him a feeling he never had before. While in the temple, Yo-ri heard the voice of Gap's spirit and she followed the voice. Unfortunately, she was deceived by a water spirit and dragged into a well. The spirit tried to kill her by taking her into the darkest and deepest part of the well. Luckily for her, the emoji jumped in and saved her with his powers. The next day, Yo-ri tests the king for a new glass but the king disclosed that he already has one, but she came up with an excuse that the king had to keep her in the palace. The emoji tries to escape from the body of Gap by jumping off a high building. When his mother comes out, she's forced to pay for the things he destroyed but Yo-ri paid for them. His mother angrily dragged him out of the restaurant, where he was enjoying several meals with his friends, and took him home to take care of him. That night, Yo-ri was praying for the spirit of Yun-Gap and the emoji came out and said that he has been looking too, but has not found him in the palace. The next morning, the king summoned Yun-Gap while he was sleeping but he refused. He was to the palace by the guards due to his disobedience. Yo immediately sneaks out of the palace to summon the spirit that almost drowned her in the well. When she was prepared, she asked about the whereabouts of the spirit of Yun-Gap. The spirit exposed that he has been eaten by the giant demon and she should desist from finding him. The next minute, the demon got awakened in the son of the king and the spirit of Yun-Gap escaped. His spirit tried to reconnect with his body but was recaptured by the demon in front of Yo-ri. Her prayer saved him but he was too weak to fully escape. The next day, Yo-ri went to summon the water spirit and made a bargain with her to help her deal with her enemy. Yo-ri took a water pot to the football field and almost drowned the son of the Queen Mother. The prince caused the death of the water spirit after he took advantage of her. He put his head into the water pot and the spirit dragged him till he almost drowned, but luckily for him Yo-ri broke the pot and saved him. In exchange, the spirit gave her the secret to trap the giant demon and defeat it. The king summoned Yun-Gap and the Minister of War to find out who attacked Gap. He recognized the minister as his attacker but pretended like he does not know. That afternoon, Yo-ri set out to invoke the 8-foot demon alone. She sets up a trap and as soon as he hears the bell the demon got attracted to it. The prince quickly ran to where he was being summoned. Everyone was worried about him. When he got to see the trap, he danced with Yo-ri until he finally noticed it was a trap. They had to hold him for the deliverance to work. The king chased to the trap but didn't understand what was happening until the demon left the boy and entered the king. The king gets possessed by the giant demon and it gets into a heated sword fight with the emoji. Only the demon noticed that the emoji possessed the body of Gap. The demon made the king very strong and super skillful in the fight, but the emoji used his light to overpower him. Finally the giant demon was expelled from the king's body too. The next morning, Yo-ri and the emoji were exiled from the city for practicing witchcrafts by the king. Even while on exile, Yo-ri was planning to rescue the spirit of Yun-Gap. That same night, the prince attacked the family of the dead girl as a payback for attacking him. The water spirit was there while he did it but could not do anything about it. He tortured her family. That night, Yo-ri was talking with the emoji and he suddenly noticed that there was someone else in the forest with them. He found the old man but didn't know that there was a stronger man behind him. The man easily knocked him out because he was more interested in what he wanted to eat. The next morning, he woke up in the man's cabin high in the mountains. The man hosted them and coincidentally he is a close friend to Yo-ri and a great shaman. He told her where to get the tools her mother used while she was alive. The mysterious man told the emoji that the only way to completely eliminate the giant demon is to sacrifice himself and the light in him as an emoji. That night, Yo-ri finally agrees to worship the emoji so he would help her defeat the giant demon and save Yun-Gap. Meanwhile in the palace, the prince was drunk because of how his mother never showed him love. He was outside alone and the giant demon killed him in the middle of the night. The only witness was the water spirit. When they find him in the morning, he was dead.